Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, one and all. I have absolutely no idea who I'm talking to. I'm not even sure if there's anybody out there at all. I just hope there is. I'm excited. This is the first time I've ever done this, and maybe you could help me out with this. To the right of your screen, you should see a questions and answers chat line thing. If you just sort of pretend to answer a question, but don't ask me a question just yet, you can later on if you want. Just sort of say, hi, so-and-so from such and such a town, that would be really helpful, then at least I'd know somebody was there. So I've started this. It's a complete mystery whether this is working or not, but seriously, folks, let's get down to brass tacks. My purpose in doing this is not to, in any shape or form, replace our national training program, the College of Excellence. That's an absolute excellent thing. But to give you some more detailed information, I think the challenge that we have with our national training program is our trainers have a very limited amount of time to convey some quite complicated concepts and some hints and tips during the course of the time that's allotted to them to do this. So what I'd like to provide as we're going along is a track for you to run on, stuff which I would like you to internalize, stuff that you can then put to good use. More importantly, I don't want you to be selfish with this stuff. I want you to be able to teach it. And then the skill in building a big business, one of the skills in building a big business, is teaching to teach. So some of you will be familiar with some of this material. Others of you, it'll be fresh. Repetition is the mother of skill if you've seen it before. But again, I want you to be able to pass this on. Use it, pass it on. So there's stuff for you to use and share with your group. Now, as our community, if I can call it that, this online coaching community that we've started grows and numbers start to increase, I'm going to make you a promise. It's going to get better. It's not just going to be me parroting on all the time. We're going to have some fascinating guests. To give you an example, when Dan and I were in Cabo San Lucas in Mexico, we were guests of Eric Worre, we were speaking at his event. We met a number of really amazing, interesting people, and two of them became particularly good friends, and that's Curtis Broom and the lovely Miss Grossman. I have a feeling that you might even be watching there, and if you are, fantastic. Anyway, they will be guests at some point in the not too distant future. They have phenomenal story to tell, each of them, and they are both multi-million income earners, and they've built monster businesses, and you'll see them pop up in one of these broadcasts before too long. You'll also hear from my very good friend Eric Worre. He'll be making an appearance, and we're also going to have some of our key team members who are doing the do, making it happen, pedal to the metal, growing businesses, growing them super quick. So let's see if we can get stuck into this. And I still can't get over, that Lisa Grossman and Curtis Broom got me to do this. They said, hey, you need to do this. And I thought, well, okay, well, I'll try. So anyway, so let's get down to basics. One of the core things I want to try and impart to you is to become a professional in this industry and to become a professional distributor in our opportunity, because there's a lot of stuff out there which is it's a bit slapdash. Some of the language that people use when they're prospecting is a little bit hard. Some of it's a bit unsavoury, and we need to do that. And to become a professional, does require some skills that you have to learn. And any profession has that, doesn't it? If you're going to be a teacher, you have to learn those skills. If you're going to be a lawyer, a doctor, dentist, any sort of professional body will require some education. It sometimes amazes me when, somebody joins our business and they're all excited in week one, and by the end of the month they're sort of wondering what's going on, and by the end of month two they're wondering why they haven't hit £1,000 or £2,000 a month, and that's because they haven't got the skills. It takes a while to develop the skills to build a successful business in this or anything else. I think looking back on it, Di and I have been in this business for a long time. David's been in it for about 5 years, I think. And I think it took me, when I joined 30 years ago, probably took me 18 months, 2 years to really sort of get to grips with this. So I'm trying to give you a track to hopefully speed that process up. And that's what it's about. So I want you to pretend that you have just introduced a brand new distributor. This is our starting point for this series of conversations that we're going to have. And once we do that, of course, we've got a little bit of stuff that we need to do, haven't we? There's some admin that we need to go through. We need to sort of set them up properly so they, we make sure that they've signed their energy declaration, as an example, that they understand how to find the online training. Good idea is actually to get them round, as soon as they've joined, show them the extranet, where this is and where that is, so it all makes sense to them. And then, talk to them about when are you going to do your online training. Now, some people do it quickly, all in one lump, takes somewhere between 3 and 3.5 hours. Others like to spread it over 2 or 3 days. So you need to discuss with your new person, how they're going to approach it. And you need to monitor their progress, answer any questions they may have. So once they've completed that online training, we've got all the bits of admin done. The next thing then is you need to sort of talk to them and make a plan with them. And I like to do this at home, and I like to do this over a cup of coffee, and I like to spend some time with this. Once you have a new distributor, they need to belong to something. They need to belong to a family, and you're going to be part of that family, and you'll introduce them to other family members as well. And that's the family of our business. And you need to bring them in, sit them down, coffee, and talk to them. Now, during the recruitment process, you will have already found out how many hours they're prepared to commit to on a weekly basis, how many months they're prepared to work to reach their goal, their income goal, whatever it is for them. You already have that information if you've done the recruitment process correctly. And we'll talk about the recruitment process later. I know this may sound back as roads about, but we've got to start at some point, and I think the best place is to start if you have a brand new distributor. What do you do with that person? So you'll have that plan, you'll have that desire, that wish, and now we've got to make it happen. So one of the things that I like to do with a brand new person when they're sitting down is I'll talk to them about the commission structure first. And I won't talk about them being a qualified distributor, and I won't talk to them about being a team leader. I'll talk about senior team leader straight away. And I'll draw that position out for them. And in case you don't know how to do it, let me just do this for you if I can very quickly. What I do, any piece of paper, I just draw a quick picture, a quick scribble, and it's this would be. Can you see that? Oh yes, you can see that, can't you? Okay, hopefully. Okay, so that would be, you, and to become a senior team leader, you need to have 15 personal customers. Okay, and then you need to introduce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You need to introduce 5 other team members, and of those 5 team members, you need to help 2 of them get to team leader. So it looks like that, okay? And you'll know, of course, that this structure will generate 250 group customers, and that makes your new distributor a senior team leader. Now, it's pretty obvious in that structure that they've got to do 2 things. Got to gather some customers, and they've got to gather some new team members, at least 5. So obviously, to qualify their position, they've got to get some customers first. So to do this, I like to spend time with them and develop their contact list. And what tends to happen with a brand new person who doesn't really understand the value of this opportunity and doesn't understand how it works, the list that they have, for want of a better word, is weak. It's often very small. Very often it's not written down. There's a certain type of person who will join this business, and they will immediately think of 5 or 6 people that think that will want to do this business. They'll want to join as a distributor, and they'll go and prospect them. Their presentation won't be very good, and number 1 will say no. Number 2 will say no. Now they've only got 3 left. Number 3 will say no. Number 4. And then, of course, the 5th one is they go to Mum and say, Mum, would you? And Mum says, I told you the last time, I'm not having any more opportunities of a lifetime from you. The piano lessons was the last thing. Now, we can do better than that. And if you want to retain your distributor, you really need, more than anything else, is to help them make a proper list. Most people put limitations on the list. They will mentally think of people, and they will mentally already decide whether they're going to be suitable or not as a potential customer or as a distributor. This is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. And what we need to explain to our new team member is that on this list there are going to be people that you will never ever talk to. And that's just a fact. You're never going to talk to all of them. So you want to have everybody on this piece of paper. I mean, they won't put the negative person that they know on the list because they're negative. But they still need to go on the list. And this is why, okay, the reason why they need to go on the list is to make room up here for more people to go on the list. And I know this sounds crazy, but I promise you it really, really does work. So the whole thing, first of all, should be everybody you can think of. If you're not sure where to start, get the old mobile phone out, look through the address book. Don't think they will, they won't, just get them down on paper. And then, of course, it's people who they know, who they may not have their address book with them. It doesn't matter at this stage, okay? They may not even have their contact numbers. They may not have spoken to them for a considerable period of time. Let's say they've relocated and they haven't spoken to some people for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. It doesn't matter. They need to go on the list. So we get as many people as we can. And then we start using a memory jogger. Now there's various memory joggers out there. Of course, the one you'll be most familiar with is the Frogs one that's in the distributor starter pack. However, there's a really good one produced by Eric Worre. And if you go to David Ross's Facebook site, which is David J. Ross UW, I think. If that's not one, contact me later and we'll get the right address to you, but I think that's the one. And he has a resource page which you can access, and it has that material on it along with loads of other stuff and the scripts and all sorts of stuff. It's a really, really good resource. It's just for you. It's nobody else. So just send him a little message and join his Facebook group, and away we go. So if you go through the memory jogging process, that will expand the list even more, okay? And then you should look at the list and start at the top and say, right, Bill Smith, Ethel Johnson, and you think, who does Bill Smith know? Now, I know that sounds a bit strange. How can you tell who Bill Smith knows? But actually, you do, because you actually will know some people that Bill Smith knows, but you won't have thought of them to put them on the list in the first place. So that's the way it is. It doesn't matter, but you'll just get a bigger and bigger and bigger list. And then, of course, there's going to be some people who say, well, you know, I don't know anybody. We had this situation in Mexico with Eric Worre and the training that he did there. Split us up into 8 teams, and we had this exercise to go on to, which was going to be for 5 hours, and we were going to prospect people over the telephone and get some appointments. And one young man in our team, the Mexican chap, David Munoz, and David had traveled an awful long way, bottom end of Mexico to where this was in Cabo San Lucas. Took him over a day to get there. And David was reticent about talking to people who he knew. He said he didn't know anybody. Anyway, Diana, being Diana, grabbed his mobile phone off him and passed it to me, because Diana doesn't really know how mobile phones work, you know. So I got into the contact list, and there's tons and tons and tons of them. And he said, oh no, they won't want to do it, 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 they won't want to do it. But with the scripts that Eric gave us, and we then passed on to David and coached him how to use the phone on and off very quickly, da-da-da-da-da. In 5 hours the following day, he got 64 appointments. And he didn't know anybody. So what I'm saying to you is, you know, don't buy that story. You know, you say, you know, somebody says, oh, I don't know anybody. Okay, well, how many friends have you got on Facebook? 700. Yeah, you do know people. You don't even have to join any sort of Facebook type media website, whatever you're going to use, you know, and you put in your details, and it says, oh, and it tells you, you know so-and-so. And you think, oh, I probably do. And then they'll say, oh, then because you know so-and-so, you'll know so-and-so. And you think, well, yeah, I probably do. Now, this shouldn't be used for overtly prospecting people, but it's a great resource to find people. When I started 30 years ago, if you were thinking of people that you hadn't spoken to for a while, it was quite difficult to find their contact numbers. Now it's not. You know, you go on Facebook or Tumblr or Twitter or whatever. You know, it's much easier. You can find the numbers. You know, a few keystrokes and a touch of the old mouse, and you can turn up all the people you went to school with. So you can expand the list massively. Now, we've got our new distributor. We've worked on the list. We've got a decent sized list. The next thing now is we're going to turn our distributor loose when they've finished their classroom training. So sometimes it can be a little while before the classroom training is available, isn't it? You know, sometimes they get in really quickly, sometimes it's a couple of weeks. The average is 2 weeks. So during this time, you know, we need to be developing their list. We need to be coaching them with some scripts, which I'm going to give you in a minute. And there's nothing to stop them a few days before their classroom training, the getting started skills training, to make some appointments immediately afterwards to go and get their first few customers to qualify their position. Now, what tends to happen is that the brand new distributor, when their skill is at their lowest, because they're brand new, goes and prospects their best contacts. So the skill's down here and the prospects up here, and they get a difficult result. So what I would like you to do is encourage them, first of all, to go for their qualifying customers to qualify their position. Those three customers that they need, okay, is to go to the people that they care about and the people who care about them, their nearest and dearest, family, really close friends. This is the hot list. There's two types of lists. There's a hot list, which is family, really close friends, you know, the people they care about them. And then there's a warm list, which is everybody else. There's no such thing as a cold list, because if you don't know them, you can't put them on a list. But we'll talk about that type of marketing later, and you'll see that they will fall into the warm list if we do it properly. But let's just stick with the hot list. What goes wrong is that the new distributor pulls up to their nearest and dearest. They've just come out of the College of Excellence training. The mindset is full of benefits and, you know, stuff. And they sit down in front of mum, dad, their best pal, their brother, their uncle, the people they're really close to, and they go, blah, 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 benefit, 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 benefit. And mum, dad, brother, uncle, best friend thinks, this is completely out of character. And they feel uncomfortable. Why? It's because of the way our brain is wired. We have something in our brain. Well, part of our brain is called the neocortex. And the neocortex is able to process language and data, okay, and that's all it processes. And then there's a small part of the brain called the limbic brain, which processes emotion. But it's the limbic brain that makes every decision that you make. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody's presented something to you with loads of data, you know, and all the numbers stack up really well and it looks really, really good, and then you say to yourself, it doesn't feel right? And that's the limbic brain talking to you, and it says it doesn't feel right because it can only express itself in emotion. But it's the limbic brain that governs every decision you make. So when, you know, new distributor goes to seize their nearest and dearest, they really need to be very careful what their language is. And I want to give you a structure for a script. Point one, and you might write this down, okay? Point one is be in a hurry, okay? That's number one. We'll do the language in a minute. Point two is support. So this is where somebody's going to say, you know, I need your help. Point three is they're going to give a reason why they've actually decided to do this business. Now, the reason is very important, and it better be a good reason. And there are some reasons why people do join this business, and some people join this business because they wish to top up their pension pot, which is, you know, understandable, good reason. It's not particularly exciting at all. So what I'm saying to you is you should have a good reason and a strong reason that will capture your nearest and dearest's attention as to why you're doing this. And if you do that, you see, it becomes not such strange behaviour. It becomes, oh, I understand why you're doing this. And people will look upon it kindly. And more importantly, they won't ask awkward questions, which for a new distributor can be very difficult. And then, of course, we come to the fourth point, okay, which is the actual invitation, where can I come and show you, that type of thing. And the final point is going to be, the appointment. Although you're not going to say, Mum and Dad, can I come around Tuesday afternoon, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, which suits you best? It's Mum and Dad, put the kettle on, I'm coming round. That's same with your best friend, isn't it? So I'm going to sort of give you a script. Write it down if you can. It's going to be in David Ross's Facebook resource page before very long, certainly in the next 24 hours. But it should go something like this. Hi, this is a phone. Okay. Hi, I'm in a hurry. Now, why do you need to be in a hurry? Okay, 2 reasons. Number one, it's very attractive. People like people that have got something going on. Okay, and be it nearest and dearest or the wall market, everybody else, being in a hurry is important. It's a psychological issue. It's very attractive, and also because you're in a hurry, you're not going to get questions in the call. So, look, I'm calling you best friend, dad, brother, whatever, because you've always been there for me. Which is, nice thing to say, isn't it? You've always been there for me, and I need your help now. Dad says, "Oh, it's not more money again, is it?" No, it's nothing like that, Dad. I've got involved in a business because, and then comes the reason. I decided to do something different because I'm sick to death of living like I live. I want to make some extra cash so I can provide healthcare for my kids, or private education, or some good reason. I'm sick to death of being in debt. I want to get out of debt. I want to pay my credit card bills off. Whatever the reason is, you're sharing with your nearest and dearest. You wouldn't do this with your wall market. It's just your nearest and dearest. Okay, I'm sick to death of living like this because. Okay, and that's why I'm doing it. So I've got involved in a business. Key phrase coming up, and I'm excited. But I'm nervous. I need a friendly face to practice on. Can I pop round and practice with you? That's it. Okay, great. I'll put the kettle on. I'm coming round, or I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, or I'll come over at the weekend, whatever it is, and then say, look, I'll see you then. I'm in a hurry, got to go. Boom. Phone goes down, end the conversation. That way, you don't get the awkward questions. And when they present the customer services to their nearest and dearest, you say, look, I need your help. I just need you to try this stuff for the 90 days risk-free, okay? And let me know how you get on, but I just need you to be my customer. You're already using this stuff. You might as well get it from me because it's a great bargain. Look, here's Sir Terry Wogan. Click. Okay, let's see what we can get you on with. Boom, done. Okay, and if you do it like that, I need your help. Try this risk-free. Okay, your new distributor isn't going to get, well, how much pence per therm is it compared to blah 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 blah, or how much per penny is it if I use my mobile phone to call Swaziland? They don't know anyway, but they ask these questions because I think sometimes they want to look important. But if you come up with this stuff, do as I say, do as I suggest, you'll have a much better outcome. Now, the warm list is everybody else on their list, okay? It's a different script because obviously nearest and dearest is one thing, everybody else is everybody else. So the first thing is be in a hurry. Again, it's attractive. You see somebody who's sharply dressed walking down the high street, nice suit, polished shoes. You think, there's somebody, there's something. Then you've got a fast walk. Oh, there must be something. It registers in your mind. So be in a hurry. That's number one. Number two is probably one of the most important parts of this telephone conversation. You have to pay a compliment, and the compliment needs to be truthful and sincere. This is awesome. And then you're going to make the invitation, and then you're going to use some language, which for now, this is point number 4. It's going to be if I, would you. And we'll develop that in a moment. But that, when you hear it in the script, if I, would you, it's conditional language, and it makes your prospect take a positive approach to your request. And when for certain, this is when you're getting towards the end of the conversation, this is point number 5, okay? So this is closing it down, when for certain, okay? And if I called you is a reconfirmation of the time frame in which you're going to follow up, because a professional network marketeer follows up. Amateurs and posers don't. Professionals always do. And then reconfirmation again. What's the best number? You know, should I call you on your home phone number, or should I call you on your mobile number? And the best time for me to call. So, but then hang up. You know, get off the phone. So this, you know, we've got our new distributor out there. They've gone and got some customers to qualify their position, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, minimum 3. Okay, and now because of that, we're able to get them into recruitment mode, because we've shown that diagram for senior team leader. And some of the people that they're going to talk to and offer the opportunity to, well, opportunity won't be for them, but because they'll have seen Sateri and the guarantees and all the rest of it, there's nothing to stop them being a customer. Okay, so we're going to make some appointments. We're going to use a process which the Americans call exposure, okay? And you go from one exposure to another until somebody joins the business. It works extremely well. David Down and I have been doing it for a period of time now. We've got some people in our business that have been doing it, and it works really, really well. So it's going to be, hello, John, it's me. I'm in a hurry, but it was important for me to call you. Do you have a minute? And they're going to say, yes, okay. And because you're, and then it's the compliment. You know, one of the sharpest people I know, the business that you do is phenomenal. You know, you know everybody, and I know you're open-minded. Golden phrase. And I know you're open-minded. I really value your opinion on a business that I've just started. Really value your opinion on a business I've just started, and it's something that I think it might be for you. So, if I send you a link, if I send you a link to a 2.5-minute video, would you watch it? If I sent you a link to a 2.5-minute video, would you watch it? Do you know, they say yes every time. And then this is the next thing. When would you watch it for certain? Now, if you just say, when would you watch it, it's not real. But if you say, when would you watch it for certain, it's real. So if I call you later on, you know, because they're going to say, well, I'll watch it on, you know, if it's 2.5-minute video, you're going to send it now, yeah, I'll send it now. Okay, well, I'll watch it this afternoon and say, okay, well, I'll call it tonight. Or if you're going to watch it tonight, I'll call you tomorrow, or I'm going to watch it on Wednesday, so I'll call you on Thursday. You know, whatever's appropriate, you know, you can sort that out. So if I call you, you know, at the appropriate time, would that be okay? And they'll say, yeah. Okay, so I'll call you at the appropriate time. Should I call you on your mobile phone or on your home number, which is best? And they'll say, whatever. Okay, well, just let me check I've got the number right. You know, if you're calling on one and they're giving you another. Thanks very much. I'll talk to you then, and hang up. You won't get questions because you said, I'm in a hurry, I've only got a minute. Okay? And so then you have to follow up. Now, the follow-up. If you've arranged a call at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night, you call at 6 o'clock on Tuesday night. And you get through to them, and it's going to be something along the lines of, hi, it's me, did you watch the link? And no. Oh, okay, well, can I understand that life gets in the way? So, when would you watch it for certain? Definitely. And they'll go, time, and you just go through the whole process again. And then they've watched it. The reason why I'm looking down here, by the way, is I've got a clock down here to make sure that I keep on time. Okay. So they watched it, and this is what you say. Well, I'm really pleased you watched it. Which bit did you like best? And as soon as you said that, the key to this is this: shut up. Zip. And they're going to say, oh, the money. Or they might say, oh, actually, it looks, for instance, saving, money on my energy or whatever. But usually it's the money. Oh, great. Well, look, just between us, this is great language, just between us, let's pretend that you decided to have a go at this. How much a month would it be to make it worth your while to do this? What sort of figure would you be looking at to get out of this type of business? Just between you and me, off the record. And they're going to come up with an amount. Could be a couple £100, could be £1,000, it could be whatever. You see, that's interesting. And then you'd say, well, look, I get that. How many hours a week, part time, could you commit to this to do that? And they'd say, well, I could, probably get, and they're going to say whatever it is, 2 hours, 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, whatever. And you say, right. So we're going to look for £1,000 a month. On a part-time basis, we're going to build a business doing 10 hours a week. I get that. How many months would you be prepared to work at that level to get to that income goal? How long would you be prepared to work to do that? And they're going to come up with a figure. 10 months, a year, 18 months, 6 months, whatever the figure is, And say, right, well, I get that. Well, on that basis, would you be willing to take this to the next step? And they'll say, what is it? Well, we need to get together so I can show you how this works. And you're now going to either invite them to a career opportunity presentation, or you're going to make a one-on-one presentation. Now, this is where I'm going to stop, because I've given you some information that I want you to absorb, and I really want you to think about it, and I really want you to think about the language that we talked about, and I really want you to practice it. And I'd like to set you a task, if I may, and I don't really mind how long you've been in the business, whether it's 5 minutes, 5 years, or 10 years, or whatever. I'd like you to rewrite your list properly. Some people say to me, Clive, do you use a contact management system? And I know there's contact management systems out there, and I'm sure they're really good. Okay, I don't. I use a journal, and those of you who know me well will know that whenever you see me, I have this with me. It's almost attached to me. Everything goes in it. My active candidate list goes in it. So rewrite your list. And what I'd particularly like you to do these next few days is I'd like you to look at the people that you haven't spoken to for a while. You know, those people that you've lost touch with. People that you used to be in touch with and for whatever reason drifted away. Do some research, find their numbers, and call them. But when you call them, don't walk down there with your opportunity shotgun and go, hey, it's 10 years since we spoke. Want to be a distributor? Boom! No, don't do that. Just say, it's been a long time since we spoke. I've come across your number and I've been thinking about you and I just wanted to touch base with you. How are you? How's life? What's going on? How's Miriam, your wife? Oh, you're divorced. Oh, sorry to hear that. Oh, you married again. Okay. Oh, congratulations. Well done. Okay. And are you still working for the Acme Corporation? Oh, they went bust. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So what's happening now? Oh, really? So you're working for blah 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 blah. Oh, really good. How's that going? Fantastic. Da 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 da. And the family, and you know, how's little Joey? What? He's 23 now. He's got 2 children. Wow. You know. So just reach out, touch base, build rapport, and of course they're going to ask you, how's life with you? What's happened? You'll tell them. Are you still working for whatever? Well, yeah, I'm doing that, but I've actually also started a business of my own. It's really exciting. Yeah, and just change the subject out again. You know, move it on. Don't make the approach on this first call. It's going to look really odd if you do. Okay, just warm them up. And next time we meet, we'll talk about to do that. And next time we meet was going to be different. We're going to have some amazing people on the call. One of them is called Diana Ross. She's pretty good. Okay, and she's got some stuff that she wants to share with you. We're going to be sharing more approaches from warming up this list, how to invite people to the career opportunity presentation, what to do with them when they're at the career opportunity presentation, how to put them in this process of recruitment, how to make an appointment, how to present one-on-one, and that's that sort of thing. And we're going to have some people on the call that have been actively engaged in working through this process, and they'll be sharing their stories with you. And we might even have 1 or 2 really interesting people. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this evening. The next session we're going to have, I'm going to broadcast it on this Sunday night, this Sunday coming, and it'll be at 7:30 p.m. So until then, great to talk to you, and I'm looking at all the people that said hello back, and we'll speak soon. So if you have been, thank you very much indeed for watching. Bye-bye now.